If you want to learn how to record vocals using a microphone, an audio interface, and your iPhone or iPad, in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get started. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete. Welcome to Studio Live today, where I help you create, record, and release your best music. And I got something pretty special here today because I'm going to take you over my shoulder, behind the scenes here, while I actually record a complete vocal take here in GarageBand using my iPad, my Steinberg UR12 interface, my Audio-Technica AT2020 microphone, my Lightning to USB adapter, and my powered USB hub. Now, that sounds like a lot of stuff, yeah, but I promise you it's super simple. And I'm going to take you through all of the steps and all of the gear that I'm using, and then we're going to jump in and record some vocals. So let's get started right now. So I've unplugged everything so that you can take a look at all of the gear that I'm using to record here today. And all of this is over on my gear guide at studiolivetoday.com/gear. So what I have here is my Steinberg UR12 audio interface. That has an XLR input here in the mic preamp. I'm going to plug in my XLR cable, which is connected here to my Audio-Technica AT2020, which is a microphone I've only just picked up that I'm really loving. And again, links to all of this down in the description. My iPad Air 2 is here. It's running GarageBand, it's ready to record. I then have the Lightning to USB 3 adapter. Now this is a very important component of this setup because if you want to plug any USB device into a Lightning port on your iPhone or your iPad, you will need one of these. I've got a complete video which I'll link up the top there that you can check out if you want to learn more about the Lightning to USB adapter. And the final piece of kit here is this one here. This is my powered USB hub. And again, I've got another video which will be linked up the top that you can check out about powered USB hub. So all in all, this is a little bit of gear here, obviously, but it's not that difficult to get started here. Your powered hubs are $20 to $50, about $30 US for the Lightning to USB adapter. This is about a $100 interface and a $100 microphone. So for less than $300, you've got yourself a pretty capable portable studio ready to record your vocals. So let's jump in now and plug all this in and get set up ready to record. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the USB cable that's connected here to my powered USB hub, and this one is actually going to go into our Lightning to USB 3 adapter. Plug that in like that, and then this whole thing is going to plug into our iPad Air 2. So that is now providing all 7 of these USB ports that can now be used to connect all of our devices. And again, if you haven't learned about powered hubs, they're so cool. You can connect USB microphones, MIDI keyboards, audio interfaces, typing keyboards, a whole bunch of stuff. And in iOS 13 and iPad OS, we're going to get USB flash drives too, which is super cool. So that is ready to go now. What we need to do now is actually connect our interface into our hub, and we're going to need a USB cable to do that. And here is the USB cable. It's an A to B cable that came with the interface. All I need to do is plug one end into the back of my interface. And if you're using a different type of interface, a Behringer or a Focusrite, doesn't matter. It's going to be the same process here. And then we plug the other end here into one of the ports of our powered USB hub. I always plug USB in upside down. There we go. That's plugged in now. What you're going to notice here is that the lights are going to come on, and hopefully, yes, everyone's at home. So we've got the USB light on there. Yes, we do. And we've actually powered up. What it's saying here on my iPad, if you can't read that, it says audio device connected. Do you want to turn on monitoring? I sure do, iPad. So we're going to tap turn on monitoring. And there we go. I'll turn that down for a moment. I'll turn that one down because you would have heard that coming through and starting to monitor that audio channel, which is good. It's what we want to do, but not right now. So that is pretty cool. The one final thing that I'd suggest is I'm going to grab from down here, a Lightning to USB standard cable here, because what we can do with the Lightning to USB 3 adapter is we can actually, it's got a Lightning port over here as well. We can plug that in there, and then we can plug this end into one of our other little power outlets. And this hub's actually cool because it has a couple of actual charging ports here. We'll tap that in there. Oh, we've turned the effects on, that's cool. So that's plugged in now, and now our iPad is being powered as well. So yeah, you might look at this and go, you know, that's a pretty elaborate setup, but in the 2 minutes, we've got our whole studio set up. We've got a powered hub going in through here. We've got our interface. We've got a microphone connected to our interface, connected to our iPad. We're ready to record us some vocals. Now, as you can probably see here, I've already started doing some vocal takes. I've done 4 takes already, and I'm going to do a 5th take here right now. And I'm going to show you the process that I use for recording vocals here in GarageBand. So let's just hit plus here to create a new audio recorder track. I'm going to tap on voice here and select a voice track. Now it'll default into this lead vocals. Now I don't mind the lead vocals, but there's a couple of things I change every time. I make sure the pitch control is down, which it is, which is good. And then I'm going to tap up on the mixer icon up the top here. And I'm going to go to my plugins and EQ because I don't want all of these things on. First thing I'm going to do is tap edit. And then I'm going to remove this effect EQ. I don't really know what that does and I never use it. So that's gone. Overdrive I'm going to remove for the recording process. I do generally put it back on. A bit of drive is quite good in vocals, but I don't want it while I'm recording. So that's all good. I'm going to hit done on that one. And now I've just left with the compressor and the reverb that's on this track. And what I'll do is I'll switch over to the microphone that's actually plugged in and I'll show you how I dial in my compression and reverb and do my gain, my input gain setting here on the Steinberg UR12 to actually get the right levels going in. So let's jump in and do that now. All right, I'm now plugged in to the Audio Technica AT2020, and you can see here that I can start actually setting up. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is turn both of those off because they're a bit distracting while I'm talking to you. Now, what I tend to do is I like to put my output volume up quite loud. So I'll drive the output volume up. That's so I can hear my vocals through the mix. Now, keep in mind that output volume and input volume are different. If you're clipping on your output, that's okay because that's just the playback audio. What you don't want to do is clip on your input. So this is what we're going to test now. Now, down here on the Steinberg UR12, next to the mic jack is the input gain. If I drive that gain up, you'll hear that it gets very loud. So I'm going to turn that back down. Now what you want to do is you want to find a point where it's loud enough that you're getting a strong signal here on your input gain, but it's not so loud that when you're talking, it's going to start, doing that, right? I won't do that more than a second. It's going to start clipping the audio. You're getting into the orange and red on that input gain. That's called clipping, and it's a bad thing. That's about all you need to know about clipping. Don't do it. Now you'll notice also that I don't have control here because GarageBand has identified I'm using an external device which has its own input gain, which I can dial up and down. So what I generally want to do is find a nice middle point where when I sing my loudest points, they're not clipping, but they're getting up around 70 to 80% of that input gain. So to do that, I'm going to sing one of the lyrics here, which is one of the louder parts of this song. I'm recording a song called Smoke by Ben Folds, and it goes like this. It goes, "We will not write a new one." So that's about right, yes. Sorry if I scared you with that. Might need a little bit more volume there. There will not be a new one. Yep, so that's pretty good. I really want to make sure less is more here, so don't dial it up too much. If you're too low, you can pull the volume up quite easily. Too high, you're going to clip. It's not going to be fun. So let's now go back into our controls here, because what I like to do is in plugins and EQ, I will tend to put the compressor on. Let's do that. So that's just adding some compression, and I'll turn the track reverb on so I get a bit of this sort of sound. Now you can just dial these into taste, and the best thing to do with this is to dial it in, hit play, and just sing back a section of the song to see if it's going to sound. So I'm thinking this wet mix is too much. I'll probably dial that down a little bit, and the tail's a bit long, so I'll probably change my reverb time to about 1.3, round about that. And that's probably going to be good for me to sing with. Compression, what I can do is I'll play with this compression as I'm singing. Now keep in mind that when you're adjusting these, this is just what's being added as you're on your way in. This won't be what you've actually got in the end. So this isn't actually baking these settings into your recording, so you can change them afterwards. What you can't change afterwards, you guessed it, input gain. So let's just turn those off for a sec while I finish off this segment, and then we'll go back into it. So that is the way that I do this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit play, I'm going to sing, and I'm going to play with the input gain here. I'm going to play with the compression and the reverb settings and get it sitting nicely so that when I'm singing here with my headphones on, singing this song, it's going to be nice in my ears, nicely balanced, not clipping, but me able to hear myself back. Oh, and one thing that I didn't really point out is that down in the bottom right here, we have our monitor button. If that's off, you can't hear me because it's monitoring through this audio at the moment. The other place that you can look at the monitoring is here on your main screen. So you can see here, and in fact, at the moment I'm monitoring these two tracks. I don't want that. I'm going to turn this track's monitoring off, and I just want to monitor the track that I'm recording. So these little orange lights here, the little dots, are our monitor buttons, and the red one's our record button. If you want to learn about multi-track, so we want to record two different things at once using two channels, I've got another video that you can check out. That'll be linked at the top and in the description as well. But for now, let's just hit play on a section here. Like that. Let's hit play on a section here, and I'll sing along a little bit here, and we'll just see if I've got to have the levels here right. So we'll hit play. Leaf by leaf and page by page, throw this book away. All of the things we never even knew. Okay, so what I was doing there is I was adjusting the compressor and the vocals, like the voice hall, which is our reverb out here, which I can do. They're the same settings as we have in here. There's just another option when you go into this part. So that's what I was doing there. My output gain was clipping, but again, don't worry too much about that. If it's going to help you hear it, you can clip there. Just do not clip here. And what I did notice is I got pretty close to clipping there. So I'm just going to dial my input gain down a tiny bit, and I think I'm going to be pretty set with that. So now let's jump in and do the actual recording. Sorry, I know that was a lot of setup, but I wanted to make sure you knew what I was doing. Now let's jump in and record our vocal. Leaf by leaf and page by page, throw this book away. Alright, so I'm instantly not happy with that, and I'm going to undo that. But the other thing I wanted to show you here is I listened to that whole intro. The good thing is we don't actually have to do that. All I need to do is I can actually come in here and be quite a way in and just start recording. I don't need to listen to everything every time. So let's just start from here, and I'm going to hit record and try that one again. Let's go. Leaf by leaf and page by page, throw this book away. All the sadness, all the rage, throw this book away. Rip out the binding and tear the glue, and all of the grief we never even knew. We had it all along, now it's smoke. So I'm just going to pause there and go back to just take a quick look at this recording, because before you do a whole take, it does pay to come back in here and just take a quick look and a listen and make sure it's sounding okay. So let's hit play. Binding and tear the glue, and all of the grief we never even knew. So that's sounding okay, yeah? I know I'm blocking the camera whenever I move my hand up there. Sorry, I'll try and use this hand. So that's all good. What I do want to do though is, because at the final mix, I'm definitely going to have a bit more reverb. So let's just throw a little bit more verb on there now. Track reverb. We'll just weten that up a bit. It's going to make it a bit more annoying when you're hearing me. And I do actually want a little bit more reverb time. The beauty part of putting reverb on while you're tracking audio is you can hear it right now. You can hear that if I'm hitting a note, you can kind of hear in the reverb if you're off pitch, and it helps you correct and it helps you do better. The other thing that I am doing here is I've got one of the cups of my ears slightly off my ear, and this is like, you might have seen the old, the DJs with one ear there, or people singing and recording like that. It's actually a tip to make sure that you sing more on pitch and in tune. So if you just got both on like that, you're only hearing your audio back through the mix. If you're doing that, you're kind of hearing yourself in the real world as well. That's another tip. All right, so let's continue on. The other reason I wanted to stop there is I can show you how we can punch back into our vocal. So the beauty part here is in GarageBand, we've got the ability, and sorry, I know that echoes and that reverb's getting a bit annoying. We've got the ability to actually just punch back in here. So I can just come back to here, hit record, and then continue where I left off. So let's do that now. Written in it never really happened. All the things we've written in it never really happened. And all all of the people come and go. Oops, okay. I wasn't happy with that. All of the people. I do struggle with this note, so it might take a few takes to get it. But I wanted to show you another trick here, because you might be saying, oh, it's going to be hard to cut in when there's something like this. What we can do is drag that back, like so. And then when we come in here, we don't have to record from right on there, yeah? Because if we tried to record and we tried to cut in right at that first word, it's going to be almost impossible. We can actually go back. Oop, started playing. We can actually go back and record from quite a way back. So even if it cuts over this last bit, so I've got this bit here, never really happened. So we'll just play this bit here. Sounds like that. Never really happened. So that's that never really happened. But what I can do is, even if I cut this off, because we've got the ability to edit the audio afterwards, we can just move this. I'll show you what I mean. Let's hit record. All the things we've written in it never really happened. So there you go. I liked that version better. So we can come in here to our track view again, and yeah, look, we've cut it off there, but no problem. All we need to do is grab this bit of audio, tap it, and drag this across, and then grab this one and drag, carefully, carefully drag that across, and there we go. Now if we listen to this back in the mix, never really happened. All the things we've written in it never really happened. And you can hear there that it's seamless. So we can edit and we can do our vocal all the way through as we go, and we can use that technique to record. So I'm going to hit record now. I'm going to record the rest of this vocal, and then I'll come back and we'll finish off, and I'll just show you some of the things I can do once we're done recording a vocal. All of the people come and go, never really live, and all the people come have gone, no one to forgive. Smoke. Okay, so we've recorded everything. I'll switch back to this microphone so you don't have to listen to my reverb and compression anymore. But here we go. Here is our complete finished take. Now, if we wanted to comp or compile all of these takes together, we can use some funky editing here in GarageBand. And I've got videos all about how to do that, which you can check out up the top there and in the description as well. But now we can go ahead, we can adjust all of our plugins and EQ, we can start mixing this vocal into our track. But we're able to achieve a good vocal sound using our microphone here, our audio interface, our powered hub behind there, the Lightning to USB 3 adapter, and our iPad here. So I hope you found this useful. If you are looking to level up your vocals and you're looking for some of this gear, remember, head over to studiolivetoday.com/gear if you want to see all of my gear recommendations. There's 2 more videos to watch linked right down below. You can subscribe by clicking or tapping on the Studio Live Today icon in the top right, and I'll see you on the next video.